What's going on, YouTube? Y'all squad, your boy Yakratees here to give you guys your review for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion Part 1 of Season 12. Yes, I know, you see me. The studio is somewhat back together. Hopefully, it stays this way. It went on the fritz early today, but I'm going to try to make it work. If not, well, y'all probably not getting this video. Anyway, so Lint Liquor is going to Skype in. Lisa says she brought a little bit of Lois with her, a little bird. Nobody cares. The whole so she thing comes up. Jamie Lee Curtis is there. She says she didn't know like the impact that the show will actually have on her charity. So it's actually really brought a lot of people to it, increased sales and all that good stuff. So she thanks everyone, says that, the charity was renamed, or like, the chic is whatever was added to that. She gifted them pumpkins because, Halloween, all of the stuff with their faces in it, which were greatly done. Spent some good money on that. Jamie is astonished of the support that she's getting from the Halloween franchise, and then she thanks and praises the production crew, which is a beautiful thing. Now, this isn't the first time she's been on, but this is the first time that she's had this much of engagement with the cast. But I will say that is a good thing that she did, because if she ever comes back and bees become a semi-regular, production will treat her well. I've learned and heard, if you do right by production, primarily the film crew, will do right by you. Just saying. So we bring up Jackson, the cyberbullying. Garcelle said it was the most cruel thing that anyone could have done. We find out now, I didn't know this, but apparently people were sending her Playboy pictures to her son. Like, this level of cyberbullying is nasty and disgusting. And like when the people are found, I'm not gonna say that. Andy mentions that Lisa was the first to respond. She says she did because, it's despicable, it's horrible, that should never happen. I don't give Lisa much. I'll give her that. If I'm not mistaken, I think Lisa also took it down shortly thereafter, but that's none of my business. Andy asked if she thought someone on the show was behind it, because he was like, though it appears there were bots, some of these were real accounts. And one thing about it is bots are real accounts. It's just real quick startup accounts and all the other stuff. Nevertheless, she was like, I did feel, and I think she still does, feel that someone on the show did it because they didn't like me. So the best way to get me off the show is to target my child. So by targeting my child, a way for me to not be on the show. But I love it when she says, but whatever, it's under investigation. So, ooh, and the way that they cut to Lisa, yeah. So we get the Dorit package. She says that what she's going through is a process. Cal is, emotional and whatnot. And Andy asks, she says, because, they're friends and whatnot, but not just that, they live very close to each other, which I'm just like, leave it to Kyle to make somebody else's moment about her. Anyway, Dorit said, she's asked about her remaining calm. She said she had to do it because, like I said, she needs to be there for her children. So she felt that if she remained calm, showed them to whatever they need to get to, that, at the end of the day, she would still, be living fine. Andy brings up the naysayers, but he never once mentioned how Kyle and her both have the same security system by Teddy Mellencamp's husband. Anyway, there's no leads. The investigation is still open. Andy did a little yawn, and she hits him with a "Am I boring you?" for the second year in a row, which I can see breaking up the scene, but it's just like, you're in the mood, you're in the moment, and you really need the sympathy. Why would you even? And y'all are all on this show, and let's be honest, Andy, even though he's checked, he really is checked out of a lot of the more current reunions. Let's be clear, he does have a lot to do. All right, so okay, he yawns. Damn it. Okay, that made me lose points for her story. She says she was diagnosed with PTSD, and Kyle says that her burglar, see how we bring it back to her because it ain't have nothing to do with her, says that they reached out to her because apparently they were jailed and was able to reach out to somebody in her family, and says that all of her stuff is at their grandmother's house. She even sent them money because her whole thing is she just wants the stuff back because some of the purses and whatnot were things handed down to her by her mother. So I can understand that. But they feel that it's a shakedown. But I'm like, it's convenient how everything leads back to you. Okay, so now we get the crystal package. And look, if it seems like I'm kind of like moving through it, a lot of stuff we've already talked about, we've rehashed in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Y'all know what we're here for, right? Right. So Crystal social media posting comes up, and Andy asked her about that, and she felt that she had to say something. And in her culture, you're pretty much told to keep quiet. And I understand that because in the African American community, for the most part, but because I am a millennial like her, but my parents are baby boomers, I know that mentality of you don't talk about things. What goes on in this house stays in this house, and all of that, and not putting stuff out there, not seeking help. If you going through anything, you go talk to the pastor or whatever case. So I understand that. Hopefully, that was understood by everyone. She was asked if she was purging, like, was this a thing that happened when Sutton came in on her, like, was that the thing that she was doing? And she was like, no, but that does deal with my body dysmorphia. So I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm glad, like, this is the first time that I'm hearing her say that she has body dysmorphia. I know she said she has a problem with her body, but I'm glad she's actually saying what it is. If this isn't the first time, please correct me if I'm wrong. Kyle is asked about her comment, her being a hypocrite, and in essence being clumsy with her words. She blames it on being drunk. And again, we just passed by that, so okay, that's a viable excuse. Erica was asked about her words of saying if I would just throw it up. And Erica says that she thought that she was empathizing and was pretty much saying, like, this is what I've done in the past. So she thought that she was connecting with her. Obviously not. And then she does end up owning her comment about the chicken tenders. What I'm going to say, because again, even though I'm almost at the end, but I could forget, I don't like how Dorit didn't hold not Dorit, Crystal didn't hold Kyle's feet to the fire for what she said. I don't like the fact that she did not hold Erica's feet to the fire about what she said. Like, yeah, you're on it, but we didn't get none of that. But here's where it gets spicy. Andy asked how she felt about Dorit sharing with the group a conversation they had in private, and Dorit says that not Dorit Crystal felt that it was unacceptable. She begins to tear up and whatnot, choke, getting choked up and everything. Dorit has a look on her face and she tries to explain away her behavior and then gives an apology. Because Chris said we can have a talk in private about, or in private about what is and what isn't private. But my thing is, didn't Dorit say when they were in Aspen to Kyle that when a friend of hers is hurting, that she has to be there for them? Granted, we know her and Chris aren't friends, but was she not just hurting by what you did? Okay. Okay, we're back with Crystal. I'm gonna try to work through this the best way that I could because again, I'm not rewinding to give y'all this because this is making my head hurt. So she's asked about her dark comment and the implication that the comments that were made by Sutton were racist. Crystal says, okay, well, let me give context. And she says that at that time, she didn't know Sutton. And had she known Sutton, then maybe that would have been different, I guess. I guess all of what was said. And Andy brings up the fact that, okay, but when you brought this to the table, you had already gotten to know Sutton. Good. See, now, sometimes Andy will sit here and do the alley oop, sometimes not, but he did it right there. And, she pretty much was saying, okay, well, what was said? It wasn't necessarily specific, it was the overall conversation. So now they're calling her out saying that, okay, but that's not what you said on Watch What Happens Live. That is not what you said here. And I really do wish that after Crystal said what she said initially on the show when Garcelle asked her, I think you would have always said, "Are you that girl?" She should have went back and had it all planned out of how she was going to attack this because obviously she didn't. Whatever. Nevertheless, she will stand by her words. The girls are at this point talking over her, trying to make their point. And I noticed that Crystal's being very passive and speaking very softly. And I say I noticed that because I'm gonna get to why, but this is one of those where you're trying to play the victim. I'm just saying. So she says, "You are calling my experience fake." And Garcia's like, "No, that's not it. But when I asked you what it was, why didn't you just tell me if you're alluding to something that she said was racist? Because at that point, I'm going to have to reevaluate my friendship with this woman." Very simple, understandable. And Cal says she wanted the women to think that Sutton was racist. That is what Kyle thinks. I'll give Kyle this only because she was someone involved in it, but again, Kyle needs to find something because again, let's be honest, what storyline does Kyle have this season? So yes, she has to attach herself to other stuff. So she's gonna make it her point to be involved in this. So Crystal feels that the pool story was offensive to her, and she pretty much like, but you don't have to, which is fine. But sometimes you just have to know that saying certain things is going to get you a certain response, and it may not go the way you want it. Whatever. Sudden pretty much is asked her opinion, and she's like, after us talking and everything, I do feel that my words could have been different. But I mean, at this point, we're friends, we're cool. I let it go. And it's at this moment that Erica and Lisa are both like, but why is that okay? Why is it that, in essence, like, why are you just getting over it? And why are you making it so that we have to get over it? I interpret that as you need to keep this thing going because again, we all know Lisa is a dog with a bone. She ain't finna let none go and is going to stretch this out as long as humanly possible. But sometimes you just gotta be like, okay, got it. And sometimes in letting it go, it's not like, okay, all's forgiven, but it's like, okay, I know that when I said or did this, this is the response that I got. So when it comes to stuff like this, I just know how to treat you. I know how to deal with you. I know how to move on because not everything requires a conversation and not everything requires an explanation, especially when you want peace. We talk about safe spaces and dramatic millennial. I'm not talking about that because Kyle is so dang on dramatic and whatnot. Talking about dramatic millennials. Crystal is saying how this is her truth. Kyle saying, but it's not the truth. Whatever. Crystal, and we asked a question was asked, what did Crystal do to lose 14 friends? She was talking about a conversation that she had with Lisa Rinna and says, after she did the show, Kyle interjects and it is like, so, but I thought you lost the friends before you joined the show. And this is when Crystal bucks up. She was like, yes, after I said yes to the show, I just cleared up for you. So it's like, so when you're dealing with Kyle, you want to buck up. But when a couple of the other ladies are seemingly talking over you, you ain't got that umph in your chest. Again, I'm done. I hope we ain't got no more to talk about with Crystal. All right. So to end this, Diana has now Skyped in. So we find that her lawyers are busy sending out cease and desist. As a YouTuber, I'm aware of that. I ain't get one, but I'm aware of that. I'm aware of some of the YouTubers and other social media personnel that have received them. Um, Her book comes up, and what people alleged of it. She says that she's proud of the book and it broke her heart to defend something special. But when you were asked on the show about the book, you didn't want to talk about the show and they just let it go. Okay, all right, use a lie. In my opinion, I believe you a lie. Let me say that. She says she never met Jeffrey Epstein, but the picture of her with him was back when she was a refugee, and all she had to say was just that picture that I saw. I was a refugee back then, so when I said I never met him, and to my knowledge, I didn't, but I didn't know that was him. So I met him, but I didn't know who it was. She could have said that, but she didn't. Whatever. So then we talk about Philly Diva and how she said it must suck to be a black content creator. So let me see. She said she was mortified and she was associating that with the dark web. So thinking that Philly Diva coming at her, shout out to her. She felt that she was a part of the dark web and just coming at her maliciously for no reason, and it had nothing to do with her skin color. Now, had she just said, I use, black the way that, she used black and, all this other stuff, maybe, just maybe, of what's in her profile, but I'm looking like, you're not helping yourself. And then Crystal was asked about it and she semi defends her, which I'm just like, again, I can't do Crystal no more. So we hear about the case victims and the money that was given. She says that she has given money, so I would assume from when that episode aired, because she set up something for money to be pledged, but nothing was given. I guess at this point she has thus given. Cool, fine, whatever. The bots conversation come up, and Garcelle says yes, she thought Diana was initially behind it, and I'm like, come on, Garcelle, let's be honest, let's just tell the truth right here. And Garcelle, so Diana says she feels that she has a low opinion of her. I would have been like, well, based off of how you did my friend on the show, and you really not know her, like, look, Garcelle did activate for a moment. I would have activated right then, but she did activate. But we gonna get to it. So Garcelle said, okay, well, she sent me a threatening text, and pretty much because it was jumbled up, and she don't, the way Diana speaks is just blah. But what happened was that one of the posts that Jax got, where it says leave Diana alone or you're gonna have to deal with us, me, whatever the case may be. So when he shared that to his social media, his caption to it was too far at this point. But Diana wanted for when he posted it, or for him to pencil out her name, because with her name being there, then that involves her, implicates her, and all of that other stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that comment left under his social media? Nevertheless, because I'm not going backwards, we just gonna stick where we are right now. And Kyle says, now again, why Kyle always got to try to defend somebody? Obviously, she ain't got a storyline, but always got to defend somebody. So Kyle says maybe she wanted Jax to delete the post, pencil out her name, and then repost it. You know, pretty much to protect, people's families involved. Garcelle activated at this point, and she says, "You are fucking kidding me. Wait a minute. So you want me in the middle trying to protect my child to save all of y'all?" I was like, come on. And then when I tell you she acted, because it was one of those ways like, hold on, you got me at so. So Diana says she received actual death. Now Garcelle, baby, because I knew what was about to happen, and I'm mad that it did. But she said actual threat. I look like, oh, so you want to sit here and quantify your issue over? Okay. So then Garcelle mentions the text message threat that she actually got from Diana, and I was trying to pull it up, but I didn't have time to get back to it. But it pretty much was along the lines of, if anything happens to my family, in essence, it's your fault, and I'm coming for you, this, that, and the third. And Diana whole thing is like, I meant legally, not physically. There is a difference. And Garcelle's looking like, ma'am, no, it's not. And then Diana brings up her that she has had family be murdered. And when someone threatens your child with a knife, this is murder. And she had a whole tone, very condescending, making herself the victim. Garcelle peeped it and she caught herself. But I wish that she would have went back and forth with her, because the fact that somebody is saying that if your daddy who wasn't who he was, that you would have a knee on your neck. Somebody saying, if you don't leave this person alone, we coming for you. This boy is being threatened too. Okay, being threatened directly. I'm not saying that Diana did not get death threats, but you got death threats on behalf of your family. Nobody sent death threats to Garcelle. They sent them to her son. Garcelle was trying to hold it together, and Garcelle backs down ever so, because I guess she felt like, hold on, wait, I'm about to lose control. And again, we all wanted her to snap, crackle, and pop a little bit with Erica early in the season. She gave us just a little bit, just smidge, and she says she's not talking to her anymore. Because I guess Garcelle's thing is, if I keep talking to you, I'm really gonna say some stuff. And look, here's the reality: in Hollywood in general, in certain industries and whatnot, you sit here and you go too far, you pop up too much and whatnot, that's gonna affect your bottom line. That's your coins. Garcelle bites a lot of bullets that I don't appreciate, that I don't like for her to do. I understand it because at the end of the day, as long as she's in decent standings and she's not doing too much, she's going to continue to get job and collect checks. But if she's out here wilding and whatnot and being crazy and all the other stuff, then she loses job opportunities, which means that no longer is that money being put in her pocket, no food on the table. So I get it, but I think people would have gave her a pass. But I think she also wanted Diana to look crazy, so whatever. So Diana says she will help her protect her child. She has the means. I was just like, hold. You gonna help her protect her child, but you over here crying saying that somebody wanted to murder your children. Are you protect? Yeah. Stop. Okay. But then said, I have the means. That was the part that got me. I hope you got the means, so she ain't got the means. Now Garcelle lets it be known, oh, everything is under investigation. Meaning I got coins too, girl. Like don't get it twisted. Who Garcelle's a class act and it's better than me. So Andy asked her if Diana was here in person, what is the number one thing you would ask her? And it's, why are you obsessed with me? Diana says, because you're gorgeous. And here's the thing, when Diana Skyped in, you saw it on Garcelle's face, she was a feature, but Garcelle says, you're targeting me on social media. And Diana plays dumb like she doesn't know what she's talking about. And she pretty much, and Garcelle pretty much says, leave me alone. And that was the first part. Had I written down all my notes instead of doing like the in-between breaks and whatnot, I probably would have skipped over a whole lot and gave y'all more of the end. But that's it. That's all I got. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace out.